On Storage Wars, Brandi Passante makes buying other people's junk look exciting, but the fun ends when the cameras are off. From being targeted by a revenge porn distributor to encountering creepy fans, the reality star has also dealt with the dark side of fame. Though many of Brandi Passante's struggles in life have taken place during more recent years, she also faced many hardships before she became famous. On Storage Wars, Brandi is clearly up against a tough crowd with her fellow buyers, who are mostly men. But because of the way she grew up, Brandi was used to holding her own. In an interview with Lifetime Mom, Brandi talked about working in a male-dominated industry and whether or not this proved difficult for her. She said it forces her to be tough and to not be as emotional about the outcome of things. She also talked about having plenty of practice functioning in a male-dominated arena, seeing as she grew up with brothers. She added that her brothers toughened her up, Brandi explained. "I find that the men in my business will walk all over you once they discover your weaknesses, so you have no choice but to develop a thick skin." Though it ultimately helped her career, it was hard for her during her childhood. In October of 2020, Brandi's father died, leaving her devastated. In an Instagram post, she talked about how she was a daddy's girl and fondly remembered how he would never get mad at her. She talked about her father in a very positive light, giving her fans the idea that her relationship with him was very special. The emotional post also alluded to the fact that Brandi lost additional loved ones in 2020. She wrote, "Now if everyone I love could stop dying in such close proximity, that would be great." Though she did not elaborate on who else she lost, it's clear that 2020 was a hard year for her. As most fans of Storage Wars know, Brandi came in a package deal with her partner Jarrod Schulz for many years, nearly 2 decades, in fact. During the first 12 seasons of Storage Wars, the two were partners in buying, leading to a lot of drama on screen and off. Nonetheless, many fans were surprised when Brandi announced in the season 13 premiere that she and Jarrod had split up. Most of the shock came from the fact that Brandi and Jarrod were able to keep their breakup quiet for a while. As Jarrod himself said in the season 13 premiere,
"Just because me and Brandi aren't together anymore doesn't mean we can't go to an auction, but separately."
However, the two of them definitely bickered a lot more, with Jarrod even jokingly admitting that if Brandi would be bidding on something, he was sure to put in a bid as well. Though their split has been difficult for both of them to navigate professionally, Brandi also had to figure out how to deal with the personal and emotional upheaval too. Part of what made Brandi and Jarrod's split so difficult was the fact that children were involved. The former couple has 2 kids, Peyton and Cameron. Brandi has full custody of the children, as noted in her interview with the Dad Diary. The details of the custody arrangement are not public, but it seems that Brandi shoulders much of the burden. Not only that, but Brandi actively stopped posting photos of her children on social media after people began to make creepy comments about them. She told the Dad Diary,
"They don't want me to put them on social media at all, which I don't. I respect that."
Having to navigate her own image in the public eye is difficult enough, but censoring her posts because people refuse to behave in the comment section is a whole other story. Though Brandi and Jarrod worked hard to maintain professionalism while appearing on Storage Wars, off-screen, Jarrod apparently made things very difficult. The couple's problems reached a tipping point in 2021 when Jarrod faced criminal charges after a domestic violence incident with Brandi. The incident occurred at a bar in Orange County. The two got into a heated exchange, and when Brandi told him to leave her alone, Jarrod allegedly pushed her twice while yelling at her. The cops were called, but by the time they showed up, Jarrod was gone. He denied ever laying a hand on Brandi, but the Orange County DA's office charged him with 1 misdemeanor count of domestic violence battery. This, of course, added strain to not only Jarrod's relationship with Brandi, but also to his relationship with his children. Brandi has not said much about the incident publicly, but Jarrod did not return to Storage Wars following this incident, a clear indicator that the situation between them did not improve. There was a time before Brandi and Jarrod split when they appeared to be on a good professional track outside of Storage Wars. Because fans loved the pair so much, A&E gave the couple a spin-off in 2014 called Brandi and Jarrod Married to the Job. The show followed the couple outside of the auctions and showed what it was like for them to raise their children while being in this hectic public eye.
As a mother, I have 2 goals. Make sure that the college money doesn't turn into bail money, and to make sure that Cameron doesn't turn out like Jarrod.
Meanwhile, the two were making wedding plans after 15 years together and running their second-hand store. Ultimately, the show didn't do well enough to warrant any more seasons. After the spin-off's cancellation, the couple just went back to doing Storage Wars and continued their buying on that show, with their personal lives falling less under the public eye. Ever since she came into the public eye, Brandi has always had details of her personal life reported on. She also became a target for scams or, in one case, harmful attempts to crush her brand. In 2012, revenge porn distributor Hunter Moore posted a nude video on his website and alleged the woman in the video was Brandi. She claimed she was not the subject of this video and sued Moore for defamation, invasion of privacy, consumer fraud, and more. Initially, Brandi requested $2.5 million. Though she ultimately won the case, she was only awarded $750. The judge felt the full amount couldn't be justified, but Moore also had to pick up Brandi's legal fees. Ultimately, Brandi's image didn't seem to suffer much from this video. However, she still suffered a lot of anxiety and stress from the whole ordeal. Though there are some clear instances of Brandi struggling with the limelight, like the revenge porn scandal, even the good parts of fame proved difficult for her. In an interview with the Dad Diary, Brandi talked about how she got a lot of creepy letters because she was famous. She also said she had to move to a gated community in order to feel safe. As a result, she felt the whole course of her life shift. In response to these events, Brandi said she went to therapy to help her work through the stress and anxiety she feels on a daily basis. She also said that when she first got famous, she was afraid to leave her house. As the Dad Diary host Danny Jordan pointed out, Storage Wars is a lot different than other reality television shows because the stars are going out and interacting with the public on a regular basis. Whether or not this was the reason for people to think Brandi was an easier target for bullying or creepy behavior is up to opinion. However, she also pointed out that some of the more intense fans would show up to auctions and sometimes make her job extremely stressful. Brandi worked to keep her relationship with Jarrod professional following their split. This is why she doesn't bash him on social media, and why their banter on Storage Wars remains more joking and playful than truly hurtful. Fans speculated that her professionalism toward Jarrod extended to her social media post about being a domestic violence survivor. After all, Brandi did not go into any specifics on the situation or name her abuser, who may or may not be Jarrod as far as the general public knows. In the Instagram post, Brandi shows off her tattoo that reads the word free with a bird attached to the end. She jokes that some of her fans might think she got the tattoo for the Leonard Skinner song called Freebird, of which she is a huge fan. However, she clarifies that the tattoo is meaningful. Brandi wrote in the post, "Somehow, by the grace of God, I managed to escape a very difficult situation that so many people fall victim to. I will be eternally grateful for the life and freedom without fear that I get to live now." The post was vulnerable and proof that Brandi is growing from the hardships life throws at her.
So these last couple of years of kind of coming into my own and figuring out who I am.
Though Storage Wars has truly stood the test of time on A&E, the channel took a 2-year break from the show before returning with season 13 in 2021. This was because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced most shows to take a break for health and safety reasons. Brandi, like many people in the television industry, was saddened by the break. She even joked in an interview with Pop Culture that she was bored without a show to shoot. Brandi also said that dealing with some of the lows of the 13th season was a truly tumultuous experience. Part of this came from working with her ex, who also returned to the series. There are even rumors that because of Jarrod's domestic violence charge, he may be fired from the show to make sure that Brandi stays on it. Either way, the future of the show is certainly going to be interesting for fans of the former couple. While Brandi is raising her children, dealing with her messy split, and navigating fame, she's also dealing with a serious health issue. The issue of her health came up when a fan questioned why her voice was so raspy on social media. Brandi responded by posting the direct message on her Instagram story, explaining that she has Hashimoto's disease. According to the Mayo Clinic, Hashimoto's disease is an autoimmune disorder that directly impacts the thyroid gland, located in the lower neck area. Brandi undergoes regular treatment for it. The condition is highly unlikely to be fatal, but this still weighs on her everyday life. Case in point, Brandi has to deal with her voice sounding a lot raspier than normal when she's speaking on television, her podcast, or Instagram videos. Though Brandi has dealt with a lot of trauma and tragedy in her life, she has always persevered.
I'm very happy with my life right now.
She is still thriving as one of the main buyers on Storage Wars, on top of raising her kids and thriving through it all. She is a regular on a podcast happening now with Hammer, which promotes real stories from honest speakers. Additionally, Brandi does a lot of community work. She promotes the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention on her social media and worked with the Women's Own Worth event dedicated to helping survivors of domestic violence as an MC. MCing this was one of her biggest contributions, as she helped to pull in $100,000 for the 2019 Wowapalooza. Despite all of the struggles she has faced, Brandi still finds pockets of happiness and ways to give back. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website.